New paternity law has modern women fuming.
You know, it's something that if you feel like you need a DNA test, go do that on your own time.
I'm not here to pay for so-and-so because there's a confusion about who's the father. That's not my business. We have bigger problems. I'm sorry. I'm not paying for no mandatory test. I personally pay taxes, and I care about where my money goes.
I think that the United States making DNA testing mandatory is stupid.
Of course she thinks it's stupid because they have everything to lose and totally nothing to gain from it. We all pay taxes. Now out of the blue, all of a sudden, you're worried about where your tax money is going? Get over it.
Where from 5 to 30% of the general population, men are raising and paying for children that are not theirs and don't know. According to the American Association of Blood Banks, between 25 and 30% of the males who are accused of being the father, they take a paternity test and find out they did not do it.
Are you for mandatory DNA testing at birth?
I am absolutely on record as saying that if we want to prevent the problem of having men challenge paternity later down the road, is then let's apply a proactive solution. Automatic DNA testing at birth would work to help two things. One, we would assure that the right parents were named on the birth certificate. Two, it would stop paternity fraud and take the profit out of paternity fraud.
But so many women's groups say this wouldn't be fair. You're acting like you don't trust the mother. Why do you think they say that?
It's a red herring. It takes away from the focus of, well, who's the one person who has all of the information about potential fathers or the paternity candidates? It is the child's mother. And currently, in most places, she has no duty to disclose that, well, wait a minute. Well, my husband's not really my child's father. My boyfriend is. Like, well, wait, lady. But you're married. You forgot that you were married? No.
Mr. Rasmussen, you are not the father. That's a lot of nerve considering the alternative is somebody that don't want nothing to do with you or your child. That's a lot of nerve. You just showed me where your priorities were right there. Because I held out hope that you weren't just acting a fool because you so mad at him because he cheated on you that you would cheat your child out of a father. But that cheering you did, what you cheering? I'm a single mother with nobody that loves me or my child. What you cheering for?
Tennessee tried to pass a law that would have punished women who lied to get child support from men who weren't their biological fathers. This sparked discussion among women because men have been imprisoned for years for failing to pay child support, and it is high time the balance was restored. A DNA test should be required before any man is listed on a newborn's birth certificate, regardless of whether he is married, single, or absent. No man ought to be required to sign that document without evidence that he is the child's biological father. In the event that he realizes he's not the natural father but rather still needs to be involved, he can decide to be the even-handed dad. The woman is, at the very least, being truthful and offering him a choice. Yet, no. Ladies and women's activist gatherings battled like the devil to make this regulation unlawful. As per a few measurements, 8 to 10% of men are unwittingly bringing up another man's youngster, yet the genuine numbers are more like a stunning 30 to 40%. It is outrageous and must stop immediately. When men discover they are raising another man's child, they have faced numerous challenges. First, there is the overwhelming sense of betrayal, emotional investment, the loss of the child's connection, the financial ramifications, paying for a child's education through college, and child support in the event of a divorce. After that, failure to pay child support can result in jail time. Regardless of this, a few ladies are all actually kicking back against men and legislators for attempting to keep men from getting into that horrible experience. It's another attack on women, according to some women. Do they mean that men's mental health and years of effort pale in comparison to the revelation of an unfaithful woman? Men even go to jail for not paying child support, despite the fact that women have achieved everything they have fought for. And these women claim that stopping evil-natured women from allowing a man to raise a child that is not his for over 20 years, while she watches him struggle to make ends meet, is an attack on women? They assert that requiring a paternity test indicates that no woman can ever be trusted. It is presumed innocent until proven guilty. That's fine, if that's what it means to women. There are different contentions that ladies have made that I will share here. A woman stated that mandatory paternity tests conclude that all women cheat. But men are presumed innocent, because they are twice as likely to cheat as women. It is up to the man to disclose that he does not trust his partner, and his partner deserves to know. Allow me to begin with this one. Assuming men are con artists, how long of squandered exertion, deficiency of cash, close to home and mental injury, and even prison time has it caused ladies? Can you compare the betrayal of a woman who watches a man carry a child, throw them into the air, take the child to football practice and yell, "That's my boy!" even though she knows the child's real father and sometimes has an affair with him? What is it about women that is wrong? Another woman stated that requesting a DNA test is comparable to asserting that women are unreliable. In the event that you say each kid ought to get a paternity test, it could remove the disgrace, yet it's not modest. In a time when the hospital bill is already high, you just added more money. Sincerely, you shouldn't have sex with the woman if you don't trust her. By having compulsory DNA tests, the public authority and individuals of the U.S. are fundamentally saying that all ladies are unscrupulous and con artists. That is not exactly the message that ought to be sent. You as well heard that argument. From the time a child is born until they reach the age of 18, it could cost an average of $331,900 in 2023, according to data from the USDA and inflation statistics from the BLS. In the event that a man needs to spend only a couple of bucks to save himself from emptying a fortune into the result of another man's flank, isn't it worth the effort? Talking about the government and the people of the United States asserting that all women are dishonest and cheaters is even a stupid argument to make. True, indeed. On the off chance that 30% of men are supposed to be casualties of paternity misrepresentation, it implies ladies are predominantly involved. Women are aware of the men with whom they had sex at any given time. And if it was only with one man, that man must be the biological father. Thus, she can effortlessly demonstrate her loyalty. Allow me to share a little story on this. A woman shared that her husband requested a paternity test, regardless of the circumstances, years before they were married or even considering having children. He needed that reassurance after being cheated on in a previous marriage. She agreed, because she knew she wasn't that kind of person and believed he would eventually get over it. She saw no harm in doing so.
I wanted to attack her, but was in a coffee shop.
So
but
she
I
told you?
genuinely went to attack her, like I went to put my hands on her, innit? Because of what had just been taken away from me. I had to now mourn a baby that was still living, alive and well. It was like a death of my own child, innit? Because it's not my name no more. It's not my blood. Do you get me? So as much as how women go through when they can lose a baby and the dads don't care, yeah, when you get told that the baby's not yours, that dad's just had a miscarriage, innit? Do you get me? That's the easiest way for a woman to understand. When you turn around and fuck a man's life and let him know that he's having a ute and then turn around and tell him, oh no, sorry, this baby's not yours, that dad's just had a miscarriage.
As time elapsed, the subject didn't come up again until they were anticipating their girl. He made a second request for a paternity test approximately 1 month prior to the birth of the child. Despite the fact that her sentiments were harmed, she concurred and asked him for what reason he felt it was essential. He brought back memories of their previous conversation. They had somewhat of a contention, fundamentally in light of the fact that she was harmed. However, they continued to arrange the test so it would show up when they got back from the emergency clinic. After a week, the results were in. She guaranteed they were messaged straightforwardly to him with a duplicate likewise sent via mail. She already knew that the baby was his, and the results proved it. When he got home from work that evening, his behavior completely changed. She had always known he could be a caring, supportive, and loving father. The test gave him the confidence he needed to face his fears. Presently, they chuckle about how the test appeared as though a misuse of cash and wonder about the amount of a daddy's young lady their girl is. She lost nothing by consenting to the DNA test regardless of her put in a terrible mood. Be that as it may, he might have lost everything. Why wouldn't you do it if a small act can give a partner such a big boost of confidence?
I had 2 guys call in. They work at DNA testing centers. One guy had to quit. One guy still works there. He told me 40% of the children are not the man's child.
40%.
40%. He said 40%.
Somebody call
and
Maury.
It's usually
make DNA testing mandatory.
It's 2 scenarios. It's where the woman, the person's getting a DNA test because the woman claims that is their child. Turns out it's not. The other one is where the parent is on a deathbed and makes a confession, or they need a liver transplant, blood transfusion, and the blood type. There's no way that can actually be the father. So then they find out that because of medical reasons. You mean that's not my father? Then the father finds out from that way. He said it took such a toll on him that he could no longer do it because he would be sitting on the phone counseling the men and the grown children who these women falsely accuse. We see it on Maury, we see it on paternity court, but yet we say men need to be held accountable.
And that concludes today's discussion on MGTOW Voice. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay updated on future videos. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next video.